We are so glad you made it. Are we dead?
So the market cap is $2.168 trillion. And now the market, it went to zero.
What a way to start the show.
Yeah, not even
Rough week
the
in
intro
NFT.
song or anything.
I know. God damn. I rugged us on the intro song.
Club NGMI.
Thank you, Lou. Lou, you may have to gently guide the wheel a little bit. I'm a little malnourished right now. I haven't eaten in a little bit of time. Currently pumping a lot of water.
Are you preparing for tomorrow?
Yeah, what's wrong over there?
What do you mean?
Are you like actually sick?
No, I'm not sick. No. Preparing. This is
for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Trey,
you're
on
muted.
mute.
That's a bad strategy, though, Jang. That's a bad strategy. You need to warm your stomach up. You can't just you're not supposed to be starving when you have a food eating contest.
So I know, and this is why I'm I have 2 glasses of water. So shout out to Drico. Drico is in my DMs like, I'm worried about you. I'm worried about you. He's like, here's what you got to do. You do like a big meal 22 to 24 hours out, which I did, and then you expand your stomach with water. So I'm currently trying to expand my stomach with water. I didn't read how to do that or when I'm supposed to do that, but we're just doing that now. So yeah, amazing. That's where we are.
Yeah, I think you don't want to. When people go before a big race, they eat their pasta dinner.
Carb load.
I think you don't want to do that, but no. I feel like you want to eat at some point, right?
Yeah, 22 hours.
Off.
22 hours feels too long.
Yeah, sometimes when I get that hungry, it gets to the point where you go to eat and it almost your stomach hurts.
Yeah.
So you can only fill up halfway and it somewhat satisfies you, but then a couple hours later you're still hungry because you were only able to eat half of what you thought you would.
I feel like that's a bad strategy. I feel like you don't want to be that starving. You should eat
I might
8 hours before, have some toast or something.
Yeah, like a granola.
Maybe I'll have something after this stream. I'll have a little snack because I got to tell you guys, when you're very hungry, you see a lot of food. You don't really notice it when you're not hungry, but when you're hungry, you just see all of it and you want to eat all of it.
How many hot dogs are you going for?
I need to eat 12.
12.
With buns. Yeah.
And you have however long to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid comes home from daycare around 4:30, so if I'm not done by 4:30ish, I'll have real problems. But yeah.
And if you don't finish, you refund all the Doug's Mints costs?
No.
That's right.
No. We'll play it by ear as to what happens if I'm unable to participate. I mean, health over wealth.
A couple
guys.
Extra.
That's a weak mindset. You just got to be it's not going to happen. I'm going to eat 12.
I prefer if there's a time limit on it, just eating 12,
he just gave the time limit when his kid shows up.
That's 4 hours.
Got a hard stop.
Well, but that's the whole point, though, Babs. The whole point is that this is the first time in NFT history that a transition from pre-sale to public sale has not been based upon a time or based upon anything else. This is an unknowable moment where we're going to shift from pre-sale to public sale. So it's very exciting stuff.
That's a lot of pressure, though. You're going to have to flip the switch on a full stomach of hot dogs. And do you trust yourself to do it that well? What if you mess up? You never hear the end of it if you mess up.
It's going to be that moment is going to be so incredible. It's going to be intense. Well, and we just announced we want to hold some Dougs back for marketing purposes as well. Oops. And so we're going to do that after the pre-sale as well. So I have to send 2 transactions. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Are you
I'm
worried?
actually
Are
not
you
that
worried the
concerned.
site's gonna bust tomorrow, or like it's not gonna work?
No.
No, you're good.
No,
You tested it.
me
You
and
did
Hopper. Yeah, we tested it. We're
Okay,
good.
good. You're not under the gun for the last minute.
Come on.
I mean,
Hot
yeah, you're
dog
always looking
minters
at
aren't
last minute
rookies.
stuff.
Like we're gonna be minting from the contract anyway. So
You cannot mint. Well, you can't mint
Ooh.
pre-sale or free from the contract because
Wow.
going full
Damn.
circle.
Oh wow! I need to connect my
Damn.
wallet to that
What is
sketchy
going
ass
on?
site.
Yeah, what is this?
Yeah, that's right.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Is it
Yeah,
secured?
that's so wrong.
Yeah.
Do you remember our old friend Professor Merkletree? Remember him?
Yeah.
Mhm. How could I forget?
From Professor Merkletree to actually using Merkletrees. I'm using Merkletrees to authenticate whether or not your wallet is on the free list or the pre-sale list. So it's real. Like that's a real thing. It's actually really cool.
Have you tested?
I did it.
That worked.
Of course, Babs.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna
Babs
tilt
is
my
obviously
face off
ignorant
if
to
I
how
go-
the back end.
If I go there
stuff
tomorrow
works.
and it's like not on the whitelist, I will lose my mind.
I
Better
legitimately wanted to do it for you, Babs. I wanted to just make
That
you
would've
force
been-
you to
those
mint
ones,
10
though.
of these
If
things.
that,
when you
that
when you
would've
check
been
the Google
best.
Doc sheet and you know like you control after your wallet, it's there. Then you finally go to the website and it doesn't work. Like it's the worst feeling. It's just so frustrating.
I totally agree.
How'd you mess that up? You had it on your Google spreadsheet. Like
How are we
There's
gonna
a
let
lot
a
of ways to mess it
non-ape
up.
owner talk to us like this? Like
Yeah.
Oh, God.
this is ridiculous. He can't have this confidence anymore.
Well, that's why, because his
I-
name was originally on the list, then he sold Ape. He falls off
Yeah.
of the list.
maybe.
I think Babs is the former ape owner. I think he's earned that level of confidence, especially considering
I mean, that's another way to look at it.
apes down bad. Down Babs. I
Down
guess.
bad.
Oh God. Okay, Trey, how's your week been in NFT world?
I am still listing a lot of stuff, if I'm being completely honest. So I think my main collection on my main wallet is almost below 100 NFTs now, which I mean, I think I got up to 450 or 500 at one point.
Good
So
night.
it's I've been just going on a tear trying to get rid of stuff that I don't love long term, and then even some stuff that I do like long term. I've been trying to make some tough decisions on. I'm never going to be fully out, that's for sure, but definitely, just tying it back into that conversation we had last week, where it was like, I feel like we're in another moment here where it's like, if NFTs go to zero or don't have any liquidity, are you happy with where you're at? So I'm just trying to get to that point. I would say I'm there now, but yeah, been actively listing a lot of stuff.
What about you, Babs? How was your week?
Yeah, it was good. I didn't mint a whole lot. I probably only hit that mint button a couple times this week, so that was slow. And like Trey said, I'm kind of in the whole, scaredy cat phase a little bit too. I've sold a bunch of stuff the last couple weeks, and mainly same reason. Did I ask myself the question, are you okay if NFTs drop by another 30 to 40% from here out? And my answer was no still. So when I say that, obviously I felt overexposed to NFTs still. Like I wanted to get to a place where like I have a comfortable level that I'm comfortable still holding those if they drop. I think I'm there now. I sold quite a bit. I still have 300 things in my OpenSea, but 95% of those are dusty. I can list them all for 0.01 probably if I felt good. But for the most part, I've rid myself of a lot of my big bags. I still have, a mutant, a Bored Ape dog, a Nizuki, some can't sell all my Pixel Vault stuff. I have some Etherworks. So like I still feel exposed to NFTs, but I'm definitely less exposed than I was 2 weeks ago. So it feels good. Like mentally, I feel a lot better. And that's half the reason why I sold some is I just don't want to feel mentally stressed all the time anymore.
What about you, Lou? Are you mentally stressed with NFT world? You throughout our experience in NFTs, you've been the most even keeled out of all of us, I think. So how are you taking this past week?
Yeah, I never really had like 400 NFTs in my wallet. I wasn't minting random things that are like 10 or 15 of them in general. So I didn't really accumulate a ton. I think at my peak, it was up close to 300 or so. But I also, and I used to always send this to Babs, I do sort of like spring cleaning of my wallet in general, where I clean out some of that stuff. Sort of what like Trey was saying. What I've been doing this time a little differently is, well, during the bull run, I was buying like a few of things instead of just riding up with one. And I'm starting to look at, oh, well, I still want this, but do I need 3 of them? And then I'll take it down to like 1 or 2. So I'm doing more stuff like that, where it's like, well, I had 2 of these. They haven't doubled in price or anything, but right now it seems like the likelihood of those things doubling is less so, but I still want one in my wallet kind of thing. So I've been going through a lot of stuff that way. I guess that's how I've been doing it, but I moved a lot to USD over time this year, like specifically, especially with like the whole tax season thing coming up. I was moving stuff instead of to my ledger, I was moving it to USD, what I had previously been like squirreling. So that's sort of how I've been handling it.
Yeah, that's smart because I mean you're describing DCAing essentially of just over time going
Into
to USD
staples.
instead of like
Yeah.
Market down. Now what? Like that sucks.
Yeah.
If and when you have to do that, it's a terrible feeling for sure. So we were talking a little pre-show about like why does this feel different? So Trey, what about this has you feeling different about other NFT downturns we've had previously?
I mean, it's no secret why. I mean, I think the obvious answer is, I mean, with World War III on the horizon, inflation talks, commodities going up like crazy. I think there's now, I think over the last week is the first time that week or two is the first time that I've been hearing people seriously talk about, okay, we could be heading for a recession and talking seriously about that. So I think now is like, okay, if now in people's heads, it's like, if we get to that point, what are the odds that NFTs survive? And I think every single person knows the answer to that. Like, this has just been, this already feels kind of silly. So if this was to survive through even a bigger downturn than we've already seen, potentially even a recession, I mean, it would just be completely, it would go against everything I think anybody knows about investing or just in general. I mean, it just wouldn't make sense for NFTs to be liquid during a time where, asset prices are going down across the board, not just in crypto, but literally everywhere. So I think that's the major difference here is just macro. But I like to embrace the fact that I really don't know what the heck is going to happen. So trying to de-risk where I can, but still, like Lou said, still keeping 1 or 2 of things, whereas I used to have like 3 or 4. So I have a lot of one-offs now, just in case we were wrong. Maybe this, maybe they reach an agreement and negotiation here with the war and things just start to get better gradually. Who knows? But it really doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of catalysts, to push this market forward anytime soon until maybe the ETH2 merge.
Yeah.
What about a catalyst? Like, do we think taxes are in play here at all? Like, I think we saw that in December, like people, selling off because they want to realize some losses, not maybe buying stuff in that year because they'd rather have, some of those gains or losses in the next tax year. Do we think taxes are maybe just doing the whole December thing to us again? Like I stop and question myself sometimes that like maybe this is just another December. I don't think it's that, but it would shock me if we ran in mid-April again. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think?
I do think part of it is that, because I saw that personally too. You look at, especially when, whatever it was a month ago, when we saw ETH get into like the 2300s, and then you're like, well, if I had this, say, 5 ETH, I was ready to sell to pay taxes or whatever. Now you're like, well, when it was 15,000, now it's 10,000 or whatever. So I think some people saw that and don't want that to happen again. So once they see the price of ETH going down, they're like, well, maybe I should hold some of this. I haven't been making money off of my mints lately either. So I think it's probably a combo of that. And people wait on taxes. So
exactly. As we get closer to April for the US folks, the more and more people are going to know their tax number. And show me someone who's been heavily or even moderately involved in NFTs and they see their tax number and they go, oh yeah, that's what I expected. Show me anyone. You don't exist. It's higher than you expect, no matter what. So
I did the napkin math. Did the napkin math, so I kind of had an idea, but still, it shocks you when you finally start to do it, right? Like, and personally, like I think the tax thing's affecting me. Like, I'm not minting as much. I'm more conservative than I'd probably be otherwise. Like, you got to think that's the majority of the population right now, right?
So I guess the question is then, is it going to be the same thing where after tax season, it was like too easy of a play where it was like December 31st, everybody's selling, and then January 1st, where it's like summer again, and everyone's like, oh, well, that is what everybody kind of thought, but nobody really expected it to actually happen. I don't know. We'll see if that. I'm skeptical that it plays out like that, identical again, but
I do think like that point in the chat, like Riley said, is like tons of people are back to the office, and like I know personally, like I'm back in the office.
A lot of people.
That stuff affects you, right? Like you just can't pay attention. You can't be on it as much. Like it does matter a little bit. Like I know personally, it matters for me. So I do wonder if people just have less eyes on it than they used to.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like
I think it's one of the factors, right?
It's a factor, but I mean, the weekend didn't have more volume. The weekend had less volume. So that was the side of it that I was like, well, I had been thinking of it that way, but I'm not sure. We had I think a $50 million day yesterday, which was the lowest in a while.
I'm trying to pull something up real quick, and then we'll get to our esteemed guest, Gouarsh.
The OpenSea chart lately, the OpenSea volume chart daily doesn't look so hot. The last last like 10 days.
No, it looks terrible.
I'm looking at it right now too.
All I gotta say is I'm going to pull up a very important chart. This is the 5-minute ETH chart, and look at when we started the show, guys.
Oh,
wow.
I mean, come on.
Let's go.
You're welcome. We're the meme. We're the 1% meme guy now. All right, enough doom and gloom. Gouarsh, you are coming on the show now. We're talking NekoCore.
Hey guys,
love it.
We go way back to wax days. You are an incredible wax grinder back in the day. I believe you're a white paperer as well. You like the tokenomics, etc. So Gouarsh, tell me how you got involved in clubngmi and how you got involved in NFTs and a little bit about NekoCore. Give me those 3 things.
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, thanks so much for having me. Obviously, watching the show, chatting with you guys for so long. Great to meet you in person and talk to you in person. I got NFTs from Top Shot. I had heard about it and seen people tweeting about it and been like, what is that? And then the morning the Bales article drops, I was like, oh, okay. Now I get what these people are buying. And so I really just like immediately started buying. I remember I first bought my first Top Shot, didn't even know like, oh, the serial numbers. I probably want to look for a low one. I mean, I was just like diving in, like kind of hoping just be early. I think that was one of the lessons in the Pales article. And then that led me, I was already in Pete Overzet's Discord, but not really ever chatting or participating. And then like, that was the alternative to the Top Shot general channel. And it was like night and day. You could actually talk to people in there and learn about Top Shot. And I remember there was Club Wax or maybe Club NFTs back then. I think it was Club NFTs at first. And I was just like, I should be in there. I should be in there grinding Club NFTs. That's clearly the move. Just don't feel like it. It seems like a lot of work, a lot of typing in there, a lot of words I understand.
There wasn't a lot of typing in there for a while.
Yeah, shout out Jeff. And then, one day, I remember going in and saying, you guys are Planet. What is this? Teach me how to play. And dang,
oh no!
Shout out Jeff.
That was early art.
Jacob, very early Art Planet, the profitable days. And when I was doing that in the spring, when I went back to Philadelphia to visit friends and family, and I talked to my friend who's a game developer, and I mentioned to him that I was playing this new kind of NFT game, staking my NFTs, earning over $2,000 per day. Sorry for the That's how much ether I was earning per day. It was insane. And I was like, hey man, like, I know you make games, but like, I think you should look into making games with NFTs. It's like, you know, the player actually owns part of the game. It's really interesting. And so we had that conversation. And then a couple weeks later, heard back from him. And he mentioned that our other friend, artist named Jed Henry, wanted to take one of his designs, one of his earliest t-shirt designs was called NekoCore, a little cat, very cute cat piloting a mecha. And he wanted to turn that into an NFT collection. And did I want to be involved? Did I want to kind of be, you know, the face of it, the creator, community manager, you know, kind of guidance from being in the NFT world? And it was really exciting to have that opportunity, obviously, to be a part of a project, and especially with, you know, such talented people. I mentioned our artist Jed Henry, our game developers, very accomplished, professional, successful. They're remaining anonymous. It's harsh out there in the indie game world about NFTs. So of course that's their choice. But it really came together organically. And I think between the art and the game dev aspect of the tournament, I think we were able to make something, you know, high quality, and then really add in stuff like that people like one of ones in the mint for the rarity lottery. Oh, here we go. So here's the NekoCore thing, and I'll click through the slides here. All of the cat
Hold
pilots.
on. 1 second, Guarsh.
Sure.
I had a question.
You pull up the
So
slides.
I was curious about the reception of like gamers or game developers and NFTs, because the narrative that I've heard mostly is them being against NFTs. So how, like, what made it click for your colleagues? And then it's just interesting to note that that's one of the reasons you're citing as far as them wanting to be undoxed and to be anonymous is to prevent the backlash. So like what clicked for them as far as using NFTs in gaming?
Really good question. I would have to say it's the player owned part. And it's just so easy to make those comparisons when you talk about games like, you know, Ultimate Team, FIFA or Madden, where people are buying these literal shiny digital things year after year and they're worth nothing. It's like you can buy other shiny digital things and they keep their value. And just kind of, you know, he's an indie game developer. And so it's tough to kind of break through. It's not like he's releasing a new Call of Duty every year. And then, you know, also part of it was this particular game developer happened to be like an early crypto guy, type of guy with ETH in the wallet, that type. So when it came to NFTs, you know, time to get in. So I think it was really that early crypto adoption that kind of swayed him. Plus me being very convincing about how amazing they are. But like I said, it's definitely tough. And, you know, these people are professional, they're successful, they have other projects going on. And to be frank, like people getting irrationally mad that they're affiliated with NFTs could theoretically jeopardize that. So we went into it with the assumption that we would potentially all be anonymous. And of course, I was like the first one to be like, sure, I'll be public, like no one cares. And luckily, of course, our artist Jed Henry felt comfortable going public, and people do care about that. But just a really interesting time. And like I said, really happy to be here and happy to walk you guys through the slides if you want to quickly say what's up.
And Jed has a pretty big following.
Yeah, Jed has
that part yet, but
he has over 200K followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
I will
Holy crap.
do some pumping. Why else would I be on here?
That's an important one
great.
to not be anonymous, I think.
And then let me jump to my Jed slide then. Jed is his collection is the ukiyo-e heroes, which are woodblock carvings. Ukiyo-e is a type of woodblock carving, and Jed has partners in Japan to produce these authentically. And NekoCore is Jed's Genesis NFT collection. Next is the ukiyo-e heroes NFT collection, and only way to get on that whitelist is own a NekoCore. But let me back up a bit to the core here. As I mentioned, all cats and all mechas are unique. All mechs are unique before they receive their paint job. And of course, Jed has been working on these for a while. It was his very first t-shirt design. There are 4 tiers. You can see the first. Here we have a shiny on the left there. Even kind of the more common tiers, I'll have shiny paint variants, which of course are really rare. We also have 6 one-of-one Neko Kings. And on the right there, you can see the Animo collab just unveiled today. Animo artist Mech Nuggets did an amazing job on that. We're of course working with Jed. On the left, we have our samurai one, and Nagato is his name. And we have a few more. We're revealing those one each day, and we have some really cool ones left. So I think that kind of wraps up the art half of the collection. And then, as I mentioned, of course, as you can see with our roadmap, the main part of the roadmap here is the tournament. And your Neko automatically competes in the tournament. You don't have to do anything. And the winners receive these gold, silver, and bronze shiny Nekos. And I think the cool part is that these are the earliest serial numbers. These are serial number 1 through 72. So Neko number 1, shiny gold, will be given away for free to a holder, which I think is really cool. And I think especially those low serial numbers, and don't really get distributed out too much. While your Neko is competing in the tournament, you will not be able to do much. Again, this is mainly a no obligation setup here. If you see the toggles in the middle of the screen, you can, if you really can't resist tinkering, toggle your mech stats. They're mainly neutral or even overall negative as far as like the total attribute. So you're not missing out if you don't do it. But if you're paying attention, certain tournaments do favor certain attributes. So if you're paying attention, you can do it. But as far as the gameplay, fully passive, don't have to pay attention, don't have to click on anything, no obligation. And then here's just an example of the tournament bracket. If you look close, you'll see times. There's also like a list mode. And so you can go and follow your Nekos, follow the whole tournament. And I hope that I really hope that we can do it. We have some fun ideas, at least I do, stuff like, doing a Twitch stream of the final, getting some announcers, making it a fun event. And kind of the tournament vibe, kind of my ideal would be to compare it to like following your fantasy football lineup, in the sense that you can refresh that all day and follow, and it's really interesting, but like, you don't really have to. Like, if you didn't refresh your fantasy football team, those guys would still be putting up stats for you. So it's there to check if you want. We all love checking on things, prices of coins, NFT floor, stuff like that. So that was the thought process of having utility that wasn't an obligation. And as I mentioned, serves as a way to kind of give back the best pieces in the collection there.
How long are these matches as part of the tournament?
So the tournament starts with teams of 5. You're on a team of 5 randomly with other people. And the main reason we did that, one, we like the team aspect, but if you start with like a 10-person battle royale and one person wins, that's like 90% of people eliminated right away. So of course we wanted to keep that fun going and have a little social aspect where you'll see your teammates, you'll see who they are. You can connect with them if you want and talk about how you're winning or losing. But the matches themselves last for 2 minutes. So there's a lot of them, and there's a couple days in between, which is kind of another aspect that we like, where, if your Neko happens to make the knockout rounds, and the knockout rounds start with 512 people, which is like March Madness round, which is 64, 3 extra rounds. If your Neko gets that far, I think it's safe to say that people might be more interested in buying it for a higher price when you start having the odds of winning one of these shiny Nekos. So just kind of borrowing some projects, maybe a little bit of a Top Shot Flash Challenge vibes, where like, maybe you don't want to list it right at the floor, because there is the potential for it to kind of dramatically spike in value as part of the game. So we borrowed that one, or at least that description of it. So
you don't have to delist it in order to play the game.
No, the game, exactly. The game happens off chain on our website, fully, set up for that. As you can see, if I change the slide, there's a connect wallet here. So you connect to kind of establish which ones you own and change the attributes of them. But essentially, before the tournament starts, it takes a snapshot, essentially a reading of what everyone's toggle is, what everyone's set, and the tournament runs with those. So there's no, gas fees. We're not paying gas to run the tournament. But all the stats are on chain, and all, part of the attributes that you can see on OpenSea and all that stuff. The game takes place off chain just for ease of running it.
Do you have a better chance to win if you have good stats? Like, how is that correlated?
You do. And the better rarity tiers have better stats, and like the 1-of-1s have great stats. It's not such a, huge advantage. And then, part of the 5-on-5 teams, one, essentially it mitigates it. But 2, it's kind of fun. Like, if you have a floor Neko and you happen to be on a good team and you find yourself in that knockout bracket, from there, it's just one-on-one match, anything can happen there. So the answer is yes, it'll help you and you should feel better about your chances. But obviously at the end of the day, there's a lot of entrants in the tournament, and, a slight attribute boost, it'll help you. But, I wouldn't expect it to always win. And then of course we have our luck attribute, just kind of adding in, and the game is based on dice rolls. I didn't have that slide in here, but we have a cool kind of dice roll animation. And obviously as we move on, the hope is to kind of be able to follow along in more and more fun ways. And just, check in if you want, follow along if you want, have it be fun, but otherwise, no obligation.
This feels like off-chain faces arena in a little bit, because you have the NFT, you own it, and then you go and you fight. But the cool part about it is you get to repeat it.
Appreciate that comparison. That was my
when
thought.
You don't lose the NFT, right?
You don't lose the NFT, which is our biggest gripe.
I think it's cool that
but it grows and changes, which is also cool. I like that part too. So
Yeah, and I
have
think that
you thought
obviously
about?
shout out to Chain Face is not an art project, but they're giving away ETH, and we obviously looked into that. My first thought was like, let's give away this ETH. Let's get a casino going. The lottery laws in the U.S. we're all U.S. based, and we're all like professional people who aren't really looking to like invite a risky legal situation. That's how we ended up giving back the NekoCore NFTs, and I do think it's cool. As I mentioned, like the very lowest serial numbers. Like I don't know who's got Bored Ape #1, but I'm guessing that's like never leaving that guy's hands, stuff like that. Not compared to the same level, but I think that it's something cool to get back those super low serial numbers.
Yeah.
Essentially,
People do appreciate the single digit ones. They always trade at a premium, no matter. Even remember those time NFTs way back? Like people were buying the single digit ones without even knowing what they looked like. So I do think there's something to that, and it's a prize.
The numerology bros are out there. I think we've
yeah.
all learned that.
Yeah. Oh,
unquestionably.
100%. Let's see. What's your timeline? When are you rolling out?
We, in fact, today kind of updated our timeline. We did not have a whitelist before, and quickly realized we were really flying hard in the face of the meta, having whitelist, getting the collabs going. So we just started a whitelist today. Amazing response. Just got over 4,000 people in the Discord. Very happy about that. And we are kind of doing the collab thing to give out the remaining whitelist spots. Obviously, I will reach out to the people at clubngmi. Maybe they'll reply to me, see if we can hook up a giveaway there. Obviously, a lot of you are in there already. Much appreciated. So yeah, we are doing the private mint Thursday. That is Thursday the 17th, 1 p.m. 0.06 is the discounted pre-sale whitelist price, max 2, and then the public mint is the following day. 24 hours later, 24 hours open for that. So yeah, really excited and kind of happy to talk to the team and adjust and kind of, we, as I mentioned, kind of thought we might all be anonymous. So I was like, no one's going to believe you if you say there's going to be utility coming. Like no one's going to even think about believing you. And so I was like, we better have something to show. And so that's how it came to be that we essentially, the whole tournament's not built, but it's, conceptualized and designed and kind of ready to be built out with the UI you see. And, we're really excited about the chance to do that. And May 1st is our planned date for the start of the first tournament. And we're able to kind of get the utility going so soon because we did the work before, despite that being, obviously risky and investment from the team. You might have like, why would you ever do that? No NFT does that. But it really was the fear of just not being believed if we were all anonymous. And so I think going with that strategy and then now having Jed be public and essentially having this be the Genesis Jed Henry collection in addition to this cool utility, I'm really proud. And I think that we're able to come out with something good.
I had a question on.
It's hard. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Lou. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so this says today's match is 256 total, but it had said monthly tournaments. Is it kind of like Zed where I would sign up for a tournament that I want to pick? So maybe I could pick one based on like a character that I have and like their stats or anything similar to that?
It's not. It's just one tournament for everyone, and you don't have to join it. You're automatically every single Neko that has been minted is in. So no, just one tournament, and no, you won't have to join. You won't have to do. You literally will not have to do anything. That is a core tenet of the NekoCore project.
Cool.
Very cool.
Is it just the one tournament, or is there more? Like,
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, there are 24 tournaments, one every month for 2 years. And so 1 through 72 are the trophies. And so like if you really want number 69, get third place in the second tournament and it's yours. But yeah, I mean, I just think building up to, numbers 1, 2, and 3, shiny gold, silver, and bronze. I think that's going to be a really cool, prize at the end there to give away. And of course, long before that 2-year mark for the second tournament, we'll have the Ukiyo Heroes collection from Jed. Thought I had that one down. And so kind of before the tournaments, stop, and then, maybe of course they can be extended or new prizes, very easy to do. You'll already be on to that next collection for the kind of mint pass functionality.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I haven't seen a project specifically like this and with this high quality and like style of art, which I think is neat because you could send it out there in the world with, oh, it's art. Art is art. It's Jed's Genesis collection. Here you go. But I do like that you're networking within your group of peers kind of paid off. And so you're using everybody else's skill set to do that. What have you been surprised about as you've been in the role of like advisor, general manager, NFT bro? Like, what has
I
surprised
guess,
you when you've been
like,
working on the project?
being in this space, it's funny because obviously we're getting to the part where it's time to market. And essentially, like, Jed has obviously been a professional artist for years. He did not have any issues making the art. Game developers, pros, the other dev pros. When it comes to NFT marketing, certainly not a professional and finding our way. And I'm sure the Dougs can maybe relate to that. Although, as I was complimenting Dangy, amazing job of like the whitelist collaboration game, inspirational even. And, you know, it's just, I think I lost my track there.
So you're trying to get traction in like marketing with as a project was what you were learning about, I think.
Right. And I think that kind of just, you know, not to pump, but like obviously we spend a lot of time actually making a good project, and there's tons of projects that like don't do that. And so just kind of finding ways to get the word out and listen to people. And I think we've done a good job of kind of getting into a couple alpha groups, and I certainly would include clubngmi in that. And I hope, you know, again, not to pump, but I think that if you watch NFT projects all day, every day, I think that's something that already has the utility planned and somewhat built. And the art looks cool, and the artist has a big following. And with the Genesis collection, it's almost like you can kind of feel good that maybe like you're investing in the future a bit. You know, I think it all came together, and just less of a plan to like blast it out and hope we get a bunch of numbers, and more of a plan to kind of get it in front of people who will hopefully recognize the quality. And people who aren't looking like, oh, how many Twitter followers does G-Warsh have? Like people who are more like only worried about the product, and maybe have a longer view where they can say, oh, in a couple of years, I mean, this could be, you know, hopefully a popular project.
Yeah, and I mean, you do have a good amount of following so far, but it's not like those crazy projects that have 150,000 Discord, and you know that it's all fake. Like that, you're in that range that I think is solid, where you definitely have people who are interested in it and not just trying to like get in and just they want to see how this game works. And it's very interesting. It's a little different than what we've seen. I think Chain Faces is the closest thing that we have to it, but like their interface was terrible compared to this. Like you couldn't sweat at all either. And like you said, like the art wasn't anything. Like people might like this for the art, even outside of the game aspect, you know.
And here's what I'm thinking. Like something that helped NBA Top Shot was the what was the fantasy game that was related to NBA Top Shot that used the top shots you had?
Hardcore.
NBA Hardcore. What a game. Wow.
What if somebody
So
who can create monetary based games such as this were to build on top of this project and build the hardcore for NekoCore? That'd be fun. Why not? Let's gamble.
Do it, Danny.
Well, and I think the cool thing here is that initially I thought it was maybe just one tournament or whatever. And at that point, it's like, okay, yeah, everybody gets hyped up for that one tournament like they did Chain Faces. But then after that, it's like everybody's longing for what's next, right? So I think it's good that you guys are building that out over 24 months. I think it shows people, at least early on, that you're committed to the game. Or you're committed to the project. Sorry, maybe not the game itself, just because it's more of a passive thing. But in general, I think that's a better idea than just having one tournament where everybody wins like the 3 NekoCores and then it's over and it's just art. Keeping people involved and maybe like having a whitelist be, a win or a prize for a tournament or something like that would be really cool.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, Trey, because I think that question of what's next is just so crucial. I think we see a lot of projects where it's like the mint and the reveal, and then it's like try and figure out what's next. And kind of when you leave it open-ended like that, people hope and people kind of make their own individual roadmaps in their head of like, oh, here's what they're going to do. And to bring it back to Art Planet, absolutely was dumb enough to do that in my head for Art Planet. Oh my God, I'm going to be fighting these robots. Oh, it's going to be sick. Here's exactly how it's going to work. Like not even close to what happened. So the project was definitely kind of conceived, and as we kind of mentioned the different attributes of it, as kind of always having something to be next, where you mint, obviously you're hoping to hit one of those 1 of 1s, very fun mint lottery thing, but then, you're not like, oh, I didn't get a 1 of 1. time to dump. There's plenty of reasons to hold, and plenty of times in that period where theoretically all of a sudden your NekoCore could be the lucky one, and if it's in the final 4, final 2, you're kind of guaranteed a trophy. Very interested to see kind of how people pay attention to those, and how people kind of value those, and kind of almost like when people pounce. Like if there's one kind of cheap, like do you wait? Do you kind of grab it early? So interesting dynamics, I think, when you have kind of chances within the product for the value of a certain thing to all of a sudden rise dramatically just because of how the game's gone.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel attacked for the creating roadmaps in your head relating to DeFi kingdoms right now.
Well, shout out to our roadmap for having one straight line road with points on the road that come one after the other. Some of these roadmaps, and I'm not talking about PERS, love the big token bag in the middle, very clear. Some of the other roadmaps I looked at for like roadmap examples, I was like, I can't even like read some of these words. Like it's just like a messy drawing. So I like that we have a very clear sequence of events. I think one I didn't mention there is our free cat pilot PFP mint. Very cool. As I mentioned, all the cats are unique, and so you'll get a free mint of a PFP quality picture of your own pilot cat as part of the plan here.
Do you I'll bring up the elephant in the room. Do you guys have any concerns? Not a bad elephant. It's more the NFT market elephant.
Oh God.
Oh, I heard the beginning of the show. Don't worry.
Yeah. Do you guys have any concerns with, releasing right now? Have you talked about pushing it back? Are you comfortable releasing? I'm just curious. Like, I'm not obviously creating an NFT project. I'm just wondering what goes through your mind.
Sure. I think for us, we first announced it back in November, and that's how long Jed's been working on the art. That's how long the guys have been working on the tournament concept. That's how long our dev's been working on the contract and all the behind the scenes stuff. So as far as like waiting longer, honestly, like these guys have already done the work. Definitely more so than like the average NFT project as far as like how much work is done before we ask people to mint. So as far as waiting, I would say didn't cross our mind. We think that, if somehow we mint and there's still some available, the coming tournament and maybe the coming next NFT collection will really kind of drive people to continue paying attention to the project. Just kind of thinking through all scenarios. We really think that kind of the continuing nature of it, as I said, it's 24 months of tournaments. So like there's going to be bear and bull, and NFTs are going to die 15 times during that period. Like we all know how it goes. And so I think that, especially as I mentioned with the ukiyo-e heroes coming up next, like delaying this launch really, kind of unfair to the guys, but also kind of like, wouldn't really make much sense kind of with the other stuff that we're working on coming up next.
I got a quick question. I'm on your guys' website right now. So the picture or the NFTs or the pictures that you guys have for the team, are those the PFP pictures? And then the ones above that are like with the mechas and everything are the actual NFT, right?
Right.
That you guys are saying, okay, just making
sure. What you're saying is what you'll mint. As I mentioned, all the pilot cats are unique. All the mechs are unique before their paint job, and you'll mint a cat and a mech, no question there. Right. So those are the NFTs. And if you scroll down, we kind of took our little cat pilot PFP idea. We thought it was cool for the team there. And so as you can see, we kind of have a mix of both. But yes, just to confirm, you're not going to pay to mint a cat pilot. Your cat pilot will be free, and it's the one that comes in the mech that you get when you mint.
Yeah. The ones where the specific scroll up, Dangy, the one on the right that's like the zombie mech with the cat in the middle is amazing. You're minting right now?
Yeah.
How rude.
Oh, it's dead. Never mind. The Habibis.
It's probably a fake contract.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a real one. It's at gas at like almost
I hit like
2,500.
It looks like.
Oh well, that was fun. Sorry, Gwash.
Yeah. So, other question I had, and this is funny because I know I'm gonna have you on Wednesday. I don't want to ask too many of the same questions,
right.
But
we'll have Jed too, so that'll be exciting.
Yeah. Right.
Oh.
So the question I had is like the in between rounds. So one thing that happened with Chain Faces is like, what if you get out in that first or second round? What sort of stuff are you guys planning to keep people like interacting for that month in between that they're already out of the round?
Interesting question. I would say that's, I mean, the answer to your question is nothing. You don't have to do anything to play, and once you're eliminated, there's nothing else to do besides follow if you want. But as I mentioned, we started with the teams kind of as a hope to kind of keep people alive longer. But the quick answer is, if you're out, 23 more tournaments to go. Hope for the next one. But I will say, if you're kind of like can't accept that you don't have a Neko, can always hit the marketplace and see if any of the ones that are advancing are listed, and maybe you're like following along really closely and you got that listing open. I think there's some cool, for people who are grinding, I think that you can be paying attention and, catching those value changes.
Yeah. So basically if you're out, you could go buy a different one that maybe someone forgot they even had listed also.
Exactly. And maybe they listed it. Oh, I'll list it at 20% of the floor, because that's what I do with all my NFTs. And then all of a sudden it makes fire and it's gone.
Yeah.
So, obviously the staking projects, part of the benefit there is that it ends up with lower listings and lower amount of listings. So I think that kind of finding a way for people not to, like, as I said, list 20% of the floor just in case. I think it makes for an interesting project, and I think it makes for hopefully a more valuable project.
Guarsh, thank you for your time. Thanks for hanging out with us on this fine Monday evening.
Yeah.
And even having a serious project come on and chat while, Lou and I are in hot dog suits. So
really appreciate you guys having me. Thanks to everyone in the Discord, the guys in the DFK, super helpful. Obviously, Pete Overzet, obviously been running stuff. But no, thank you guys for having me on. Much appreciated.
No, it's nice to meet you.
Good to chat, man. Good to meet.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
There we have it. Guarsh in the house. I love meeting people from the Discord, especially that go back way in our history.
I do too.
Because I don't know what I imagined from Guarsh, but it wasn't that. Like, I imagined much nerdier.
I thought,
I
knew
didn't
what he
picture
looked
that.
like. I guess not.
He was great.
Yeah, not in like any sort of bad way. I just thought I knew what he looked like. Maybe I confused him.
Big Suck, go away.
Big Suck.
Yeah,
Get out of here. Go to the
Suck.
Thursday show. Go to the Thursday show.
Yeah.
God, I round
Time out him.
the hell out of Jewel.
God, Big Suck.
Yeah, I thought it's cool. It's like it's what we wanted Chain Faces to be, right, Babs?
Yeah, honestly,
that's what we
I
wanted
get why they
Chain
can't.
Faces to be.
It was.
There's a little more
I
game
want the
theory
ETH
in
prices though.
There's way more game theory in Chain Faces, so that's obviously what he was going for with that. But I like the idea of just like almost like it's unique enough, but it's passive enough where it doesn't make people have to like just straight up divert parts of their day to go and do it. It's kind of just like this fun little thing that accompanies the NFT project. And I'm looking at the art. It's pretty sweet. I mean, I like these little cats.
The art is genuinely really good.
I genuinely like this. I mean, there's a reason the guy has 200,000 followers on Instagram, unless he paid for him. But I doubt that. I don't think think this guy's like your typical NFT project. So no, I think these look sweet, and the little game idea is also cool.
Yeah, like if we go back to that idea of Chain Faces, like it was a good idea if it didn't take 3 weeks or 5 weeks, whatever it was, right? Like it would have been fun. I think this has a chance to be more fun, right, than Chain Faces was. It's a neat idea. I appreciate NFT projects come and try to do, different things, neat ideas, rather than just like, a dog picture and like a picture of a food or something.
And this isn't even groundbreaking.
Speaking of a picture of a food, like perfect segue.
Maybe a sandwich. I don't know. Is it a sandwich?
No, I got my joke. They just kind of passed over.
I got it.
Oh my God.
Let's
go.
It's a hot dog takeover.
Wow.
Chenko, how are you, sir?
Babs are outnumbered.
I am doing okay. It's been a day. I worked my real job, not my real job, but my real job today. And it was not productive. Not productive at all.
Yeah, imagine tomorrow.
You've been drawing your little heart out.
Tomorrow we are not working. We are eating hot dogs and drinking beer.
Do the people at your real job know that you do hot dogs?
No.
Like, do they know? Okay.
No.
I was curious.
Know that you're
Like,
dressed as a hot dog, right?
I'm trying to not tell them. I told like my one good friend, and she like saw the Twitter and shit, but like I don't think she knows, but like generally people don't know, and I don't want people to know because then people are going to be like, what the fuck? Why are you slacking at your job? Like, why aren't you?
I'm busy wearing a hot dog costume on my
pictures of hot
streams at
dog.
8:30 at night.
Yeah,
Scribbling hot dog pictures
I've been
all day.
boxing out time on my calendar to like take meetings and do AMAs, and like was in the office last week for one, and I was like, I have to go into the conference room and like talk quietly so people don't hear me just like fucking rambling about hot dogs and shit.
That's amazing.
Send them to the
So
dugout. Let
So
TikTok for them.
There is a reason why I'm on today. I came on here to share with the group our last honorary before mint date. This honorary is very near and dear to my heart.
Oh my god!
And it goes
This is the Lou. This is a Lou honorary.
Told me my first NFT, which was Rent Seeker, a blue legendary Zed horse. So I'm going to drop it in the chat. It is in a wallet now. And that legendary or that honorary goes to Babs.
Chanko, that's so
amazing.
Nice. Wow. Did I pressure you into that?
I already said before you hopped on.
Now he feels bad. I love this.
I feel so bad.
Wow.
I took a screenshot because when I first started talking about the honoraries, I was like, guys, I think it would be really funny if I gave Babs an honorary. And I have the screenshot in the chat. And it was like, well, we can send one to Babs, send one to Carlini, you know. And we were thinking about playing it safe and staying close to home right when we started the honoraries. And we're like, it would be funny if we kind of just trolled Babs along the way.
That's so honestly, it's even more funny because I fun it the whole time. And I was just so mad.
That's why it's funny.
Babs, what are you listening for? What are you listening for, Babs?
I feel so bad. I'm sending it to the burn address, probably.
Gotta burn that.
Wait until you see the first iteration.
Can you find it? Can you share that, Chanko?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the club chat. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Actually, I found it. I can share it.
I feel very. I'm like shocked.
The other one looks way more like a hot dog.
I'm disappointed you didn't lean into it, Babs. Like about damn time type of thing.
I feel like I did drop jokes, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm that's good. I'm very speechless. Chanko, that means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I thought it would have been funnier if you came on and gave one to like Lou though. just to make me mad.
It's like instead of yours, yeah.
See, that's good too though.
It even has mustard on it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it just looks gross. Like
that's the point, though. That would have been better to send to Babs. You know,
that would have been. Yeah, that's true.
We thought that would be disrespectful, but Chanko wanted to do a kind-hearted turn and say, "Here's like, yeah, Babs is an important part of Chanko's journey in NFTs for sure." So here's and once we saw the horse, like, I don't know how this dude did the horse. Like, what the hell? Go ahead, Babs.
Yeah.
I always forget that that's like how we started. I
did forget it too, and then we had done something, and then I sent you a DM, and I was like, wait,
yeah,
our DMs are Rent Seeker
about Zed back in the day. Yeah,
it's always funny with like Tony when I go to send him a Discord DM, and I see like we're talking about the pirate. Remember the pirates, and we had to find the riddles. Those were like my original DMs with Tony. It's like, ugh. Bad memory on those ones.
I see it in my wallet. This is probably the last NFT I ever have in my wallet once I sell everything else.
I actually had to speed up gas because Habibis or wherever the hell was minting just now. I was like, it's got to get on there. It's got to get to his wallet before I send this.
I'm very honored to be included in a collection with Carlini. We're basically the same now.
With the likes of Carlini and Davis and Hands.
Not Davis, Carlini, let's say.
Still salty about that take pass, huh?
I am a little bit.
Why are you fighting Davis?
I'm just mad I missed a take ass.
It was like the first week he was back in the office.
Yeah, he just had to rub it in my face.
Oh my!
Well, thanks,
Oh.
Spanko. I really appreciate it. I think it means more to me than you think.
Of course. I felt bad for taking you along so long. I was like, man, Babs is really footing the shit out of everything. It's really gotten to him.
I just hate how Babs hits rares and now he just gets one handed to him. Like the rich get richer.
Rich get richer.
This is ridiculous.
It's true.
There are no horses in the actual collection, so that's
Oh wow, it's a 1-of-1.
1-of-1.
Wow.
Unreal.
But there is an NGMI styled hat in the collection, correct?
that is correct. The one that everybody was
mean?
airdropped via Pete Overzet's store is in the collection.
That's cool too.
That hat.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, so Chenko, how excited are you for tomorrow? Like, I know you've been working on this for a while. Like, what's your excitement level? Are you nervous?
I have been sweating so much today. I've not. I literally have paper towels
take off
at my
the
desk
suit.
because I'm just like wiping my armpits in between.
These are thick. I was sweating in this last week when I was in it.
It's a mix of nervousness and then excitement, but like, I mean, yesterday we like finally finished like checking all of the NFTs and like looked through all of the rares and saw like the full not the whole team, but we saw like the whole collection and I was like, oh, it's good to see these because I don't know. It's been a lot of work. It's more work than I thought. It's much easier to just draw toads for people in the club than it is to actually release an NFT.
Yeah, right. I can't even
Turns
imagine.
out.
Yeah, I mean, it's harder to do it the right way, quote unquote, or try to do it the right way, and like ask yourself, is this the right way to do this every single versus like ripping out a project. To rip out a project, it's actually fairly easy, but to consider X, Y, and Z thing, I'm with Janko. It is more work than I expected.
Yeah, it's been like 4 months of work now. I was like, man, I did not think this was going to be 4 months of work. I've been like working my like every minute outside of my day job, just drawing fucking hot dogs for 4 months.
You got it down now.
So do you know already what the whole collection will look like? Like you generated all of those already?
I know what it'll look like, but I don't like we just like we're scrambling them, so I don't know where they are, but I know I know some of the cool ones. Like there's some good combinations.
So yeah, you don't know like what serial number will be what, but you've already generated the images. Like they don't generate on Mint. They're okay. Yeah, I was curious how that worked.
Go ahead, Trey.
No, go ahead. No, I was gonna say like Beanie always pumped like the provably random thing where you don't know, but like. I think going back, that would give me anxiety as a creator, not knowing exactly kind of what was coming out. And I think it kind of is project by project in terms of whether that's the route that you want to go.
They come out really bad sometimes.
Yeah.
You can
like
tell
that
them
was,
they don't.
just, it doesn't work sometimes.
That was like the longest part of the process was that we generated all of them. And then it was like, we have to pull. Me and Hopper just pulled the ones we didn't like. So it was like I think we pulled like close to 700, but we just generated an extra big batch so that we can replace the ones that we didn't like. But it was like we had to look through 7,000 different hot dogs and like critically judge each one and be like, did that over like 3 weeks. Like every time Hopper would come over, we'd like crack open a bottle of mezcal, and then we'd get a few shots in, and then it'd be like.
Then you're like drawing new hot dogs.
Like a great night.
You wish Misfits
help.
did that beforehand, hey? Probably that would have helped them.
Jesus.
I don't know that they would have noticed. I feel like they're just too dumb.
You don't think they would have noticed?
I think they thought it was okay when they
I
made
really
it.
don't. Yeah. That was.
I offered to help Janko review art, and he's like, no.
Danger's like, grab a couple thousand. And I was like, well, it's not really just like we can just split it up type of thing. I don't know what they all look like.
We kind of have a process. Okay. Right. It's fine, Janko.
You need the mezcal first.
It's true.
Whereas the half of the contract that breaks tomorrow, Chanko wrote that.
All of the
I wrote the half that works.
I love Dangy too, but I wouldn't say he's got the like most crowd pleasing art takes either. Like he wouldn't be in the majority for most of those. So I don't know if I would trust him either.
The amount of hot dogs that I sent to Dangy, and he was like, "Dude, that fucking sucks." Like,
You're like, perfect. This one's in.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Well, and I've really enjoyed working with Chenko for that reason, because you wanted brutal honesty, and it was never like a personal thing. You're like, yeah, you're right, that sucked, or whatever. Like, here's why it sucked. So yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Dangy was never like, I don't know if I really like it. It was just like, it fucking sucks.
What was the one you posted the other day that was the worst? That like no one liked? I can't remember.
The Murakami.
Yeah. And then he sent it. He thought it was terrible too.
I missed that. That's so funny. He sent it back.
Yeah, he paid money to send it back. So I changed it to a burnt hot dog. The Murakami.
So it wasn't burnt initially?
What's that?
It wasn't burnt. And then
I think he would like, so in OpenSea, like you can't name item Murakami. Like they ban you from being able to name one. So I named it Takashi Palm, which is his Instagram, and I like sent it to him, and he sent it back, and I was like, I don't want to risk the honorary collection getting taken down because of some like bullshit copyright thing. So it's better just to burn it.
I like the burned one. It's good.
It is good.
There's been so many moments where it's like, so you started drawing hot dogs, and now you're here. Like,
yeah,
in a hot dog costume.
Stupid. It's so stupid. Can we not talk about hot dogs? What else do we have to talk about?
If they take off, though, I'm gonna be rich. Like honoraries, like you know.
Yeah, no one's gonna.
I gotta take to Twitter later and start pumping these hot dogs. I gotta go a 180 these. I can't fund them anymore.
I mean, that's why it's probably better that they did the horse, because you know they quickly look and be like, "You don't even own that ape anymore. What's this hot dog? That's my ape. Someone's gonna claim that it's theirs."
Yeah,
bought it. Yeah.
That would have made Babs' his hot dog more valuable though, because then the ape owner would have wanted it.
Yeah.
Man.
These aren't CCO or CC0, right? Or are they?
No.
I know. Just making sure.
We're not going to come after derivative collections, though.
Yeah, that's good. Good note.
Basically, like if you throw like a Nazi symbol or a hate symbol on one of our hot dogs, then we'll have a problem. Like that's what we want to avoid.
I already have a bunch of ideas for derivatives.
We did have somebody in the fan art make an OpenSea item and put it up for auction, and then share it in the fan art.
Oh, really?
It's true.
Wow.
No bids.
Oh.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, it's the effort that counts.
Yeah, for sure.
What else is going on? I haven't been looking at NFTs lately. I haven't kept abreast of the market really much. Normally, this is when I would transition to looking forward to projects, but that feels disingenuous for me to have that topic. So, who has something to talk about with NFTs? Anybody?
I actually have a project I'm looking forward to. We can talk about that.
I'm gonna let you guys land the ship. I have done my job.
Bye, Chenko.
Chenko, it was nice to have you on.
Hey, Chenko. Thanks for coming on.
You guys have a good one.
I actually have a project other than hot dogs I'm looking forward to, is that and I actually like, I don't know the letters, but it's that guy that did the art for somehow involved with Artifact, and I think it's called like MGMX or something, and
I saw that screenshot. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, so he's releasing some, and I've been following this guy forever because I think Andy retweeted him probably like 4 months ago, and he always sends previews of his art, and it seems like he's been working on it for like 4 months. But basically, the mechanic is you mint something, and you mint a seed, and you have kind of 10 chances to mint it. So your first one, it'll show you what you're going to mint, but you can move on to the next one, but you have 10 chances and you can't go back. So once you move on, you made the choice that that's not the one you're minting, and you have 9 more chances. Kind of a unique take on how to mint and kind of freeze your mint. I think it's interesting. He's got a big following. Obviously, he's connected to Artifact MGXS. Thank you, David. The only thing that holds me back is the mint cost is 0.33 in this market. Ooh, obviously not ideal. Yeah. So, and there's 10,000, but like, I still think I'll mint a couple at least. But it is a 1155. So at least the gas won't be bad.
These are sweet. If I'm looking at
and they're cool. They're cool. Like the art's different. I like them. Again, I think the guy's got like 40,000.
There's only so many of them then? Are they all one collection?
There's
1155
10,000. There's 10,000
of one.
Oh no.
for the
It
seed
says
until you
1155.
mint it, but you mint it, right?
Oh, like
So
a
you-
mint pass.
Oh, so it's like the Woodies where you get a mint pass.
Yeah,
right?
and then you're minting, and you have 10 choices to choose like which one you want to mint, right? So it's kind of like the Clone X vial. Like you get the vial, and then you mint it
Game
later.
theory.
Nice. That's
So,
cool. It's
like,
like three. Have you ever played a video game where you're trying to pick teams and you do 3 randoms and a suicide? It's like you do 3 and then that's that.
Yeah, so and then there's the game theory of like obviously keeping the seed not minted versus like going through and finding one you like. I don't know. It's interesting. I wish it was not 0.33 in this market.
Yeah.
And that's on
expensive.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Is it?
Hmm.
Do you have to be on a list, or is it basically?
It's all public, which I
free for all?
like. It's all public. You don't get that very often anymore. So
Are
Yeah,
these
he's
gonna look
excited.
too much alike?
he's excited. What?
Are these gonna look too much alike?
That's
I
what
get
I
the
don't
sense
know.
that
Like
they
if you go through his Twitter and
I
you look
get-
at his previews, they're different enough. But yeah, like they're
Yeah,
kind of that
they're-
whole
kinda-
I just feel like
Mechaverse problem a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the like collage one that he just literally just posted. Well, I guess
Yeah.
on February, his most recent tweet. They just look very similar. So I think I don't know. We'll see.
has, like,
But
a Fuck Runner
0.33, I
feel.
think, is the biggest. That's just like, God, some of these projects come out and they think they can get so much. But I mean, when you're connected to Artifact, I guess maybe you can, and maybe people still mint it. But yeah,
And if you look at-
0.33 is definitely tough cost to eat.
If you look at his follower list, like all the big names follow him. So I don't know. Like maybe, like I look at those crypto brokers. Like I don't love the art, and like the artist was popular, had a big following, and
Yeah,
they took
people love
off.
Gypsy.
Like maybe this will be the same. I don't know. That's probably the thing I'm looking forward to most, other than the other ones. Obviously,
It's
we
also
already
like
talked about.
a soft week, like there's
Yeah.
not a ton else for it to compete against, and it's coming out on Friday, heading into the weekend. But I think for me, it's one to watch.
Oh, I missed Gojira. But that's whitelist only, so I won't brag about being on the whitelist for that. But that's tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Gets an honoraries on Gajira. This kid.
I mean, this could be a Babsian week. This is Babs. This is the week that all turns around for you. Not last week when you sold your 8%.
I know.
This week.
I
What?
I could really use a break. I feel like
Oh,
rough go. Honestly, like,
Lou,
back to
we
the
need-
ape thing. Back to the ape thing. Like I
Yeah.
don't take. I'm not happy about the fact that the floor's fallen out.
They flip punks.
obviously- Like I have a lot of friends that still have apes, so like I'm not like happy about it. Like, and that was my personal decision to sell. I know everyone else has their own decisions, so like, I don't love seeing that floor still fall because I do think it hurts all of our bags at the end of the day. So, just wanted to say that. But
I think it definitely does. I mean, if Bored Apes go down, then pretty much everything else is gonna. I mean, it's like I feel like it's almost like Bitcoin at this point. It's just like the market follows it.
Yeah,
Especially after I flip punks, even though it's kind of close now, which is weird.
it was
Azuki, you're
close.
coming for that throne. Come on, Azuki. Just release that merch. I've seen that embroidery. I've seen that stitch work, Azuki. Come on.
I mean,
Hi, KZ.
Bobu was pretty successful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obu did work out.
Yeah, very
What are they
successful.
selling for? 0.066 now?
Oh, but that's like the cost. That's like below
So it was
cost
with
or
gas
something.
after.
No,
But I mean, they
missed
sold out
like
fast.
7 of them, and they were all below that. So
Oh, getting in early.
Someone met
Good for
early.
you.
Yeah.
I missed. It was a weekend mints. Just kill me lately. I miss everything on the weekend.
Weekdays, weekends.
whatever.
Miss everything. I actually minted those
Um,
feline friends on the weekend. I think that's the only thing I minted.
Those
I
did well
miss
for a little bit,
those.
right?
Yeah, they're okay. I mean, didn't lose money.
What was the art chick mint? For some reason, I thought that you guys were talking about that when I jumped in the Discord. Wasn't there an art chick mint like a long time ago that was somewhat close to that?
Oh,
Fatales or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, those
Fatales.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly jumped in the Discord and I thought that those were like repumping. And I was like,
Oh.
seriously? But no, just felines.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for indulging the hot dog takeover. Essentially, little bag pumping tomorrow at noon Eastern. Come hang out right back here on the channel to watch me. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We're going to have some friends on. We're going to have some fun. I've increased my production quality. My kid's going to be home because he has pink eye. My wife's going to be home while I do this. So utter chaos. On behalf of Trey, Lou, Babs, see you next week.